Make every room your favorite room with O'Neill's Home Furnishings in Bethany. From lazy boy recliners and stylish sectionals to bedroom sets and dining tables built to last, we bring comfort and style together. Plus, enjoy free delivery, setup, and takeaway within 60 miles. Financing is available, subject to credit approval. Visit o'neillshomefurnishings.com or call 660-425-7200. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6. O'Neill's, where great style meets everyday living.
Bethany Building Center is your locally owned source for quality building supplies, lumber, hardware, plumbing, and electrical needs. Whether you're starting new construction, tackling a remodel, or putting up a pole barn or shed, our team is here to help. We're proud to carry a full line of steel power equipment, including trimmers, chainsaws, and pressure washers, as well as trusted power tools from top brands like Milwaukee and DeWalt. Bethany Building Center, everything for the builder and the do-it-yourselfer.
All right, CF Rainey here again with Bulldog Sports TV, Sports Central, sponsored by Harrison County Community Hospital. Another interview and our season-ending interview with South Harrison Varsity Football coach Chris Schoning. And, Coach, you went in, won your first district game, had to go on the road down to a very, very tough Cameron team. And we talked about it last week. Their record didn't show it as they played up classes throughout the season. Very deep team, very strong team. You ended up ending your season there last week. And maybe just kind of tell us about that game and how you all saw it from the sideline.
Yeah, we knew we were getting ourselves into a dogfight with Cameron. They got very good players, both sides of the ball. They're very good up front, both sides of the ball. They got good running backs that they can rotate. Even quarterbacks, they rotate quarterbacks, and they both can do a really good job. So we knew we were getting ourselves into a dogfight. I thought our boys played extremely hard against them. I don't think anyone was really giving us a shot. I thought we played a very good first half against them. Looking back, I probably would have changed some things. Probably should have tried to go a little more tempo on them. Just did a few different things there, but I thought the boys did everything that they could. I thought they fought and clawed every single snap. Joel McCall broke his ankle there late in the second quarter. So second half, we kind of had to make some adjustments there. We put Carson Nibel in there, and he did a good job for us. Did a really good job. It's just not the same, when you don't have your starting guys out there. He was out for a lot of the season, so he missed out on a lot of reps there even. But I thought he came in and did as good as he could have done. So, he's going to have a bright future ahead of him. So I'm glad he got, some experience there in that position. But, overall, we weren't able to. I thought we moved the ball a couple times. We're starting to feel like we were getting some things going. I didn't call very good fourth down plays. That was on me, but I thought the boys did everything they could, and I thought we played, especially first half defensively. I thought we really, did a good job. They were good at, wasting a lot of time, controlling that clock. They don't snap the ball until there's like 3 seconds left. And we expected that. But I thought our defense really stuck in there, especially that first half. It was 16-0. So,
yeah, and that was one of those, Coach, that first half. You guys moved the ball some on them. Just weren't able to keep the chains moving. But defensively, right. and you could tell we were on the sideline, Cameron sideline. You could tell the fans and even their sideline maybe get a little frustrated that they couldn't just score at will against you. The first drive,
right.
A little more successful, but you guys kind of settled in. And that goes to your leadership on the team, all those seniors out there playing, that those kids,
absolutely.
Knowing maybe they were a little outmatched as far as the depth and size of the team, that you guys gave them all they wanted there in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't be more proud of this senior group. We're going to really miss these guys. I've coached these guys for a lot of years. We even coached them in middle school. Very close to these guys. We're definitely going to miss these guys. But like I told them at the end of the game, I said, you guys set the standard. We always talked about chasing the standard this year and never being satisfied. And I thought these guys, did that to a T. Putnam game obviously did not go our way. And like I said, we could have gone a couple different ways there. And I really thought our seniors really bought into, getting better every single week, no matter who we were playing. It didn't matter. and we faced some adversity in some games, and they never got their heads down. They always battled back. Gallatin did not go our way at the very beginning of the game, but I never saw that panic mode. They stuck with the game plan, and we got things fixed. And very, very proud of what these seniors accomplished this year. A 9-2 record is very, very good. These guys deserved everything they got, all conference awards, all that stuff. Was glad to see that these guys, were noticed for their effort on the field, and off the field. These kids aren't just really good football players. They're just great kids. So yeah, really gonna miss these guys. Love those guys to death. But I thought they set a great example for the younger guys. And I think those younger guys really saw how much time and effort that they put into it. It wasn't just the coming in the summertime, at 6 a.m. These guys, after wrestling practice, after track practice, would go and lift weights and go do speed and agility work and do all that stuff. And I think they brought some of those younger kids with them. And so I think they really did a good job of showing them what it takes to be a good football team and be a good football player. And they did a great job all year. Like I said, ended up going 9-2, and we're in a very, very tough district. And we battled with we had a great game against Lathrop, and I don't know if a lot of people thought we were going to really do that to Lathrop. I think a lot of people thought that was going to be a tough game for us, and I thought they set the tone from the beginning. And they had a really good season, and just really, really proud of these guys.
No, and that's one of those, your district, and we talked about it coming in before that Lathrop game, really top to bottom, probably, especially in Class 2, the strongest top to bottom district in the state, just with all those KCI schools in there, with Cameron in there. Because you get a Cameron team that is in a conference
absolutely.
with 3 and 4A team that usually is a 3A team, and so they
Right.
end up dropping down, and so a tough district. And it's one of those with these seniors. You go back, you coached them in middle school. They're a group because they have so much depth. You had to count on a few of them as freshmen, and then definitely as sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And so
Right.
a group that played more varsity than really they probably should have, or right in a
Right.
perfect world, you're playing a lot of juniors and
Mhm.
seniors. Only 2
Right.
seniors last year, so those kids were the bulk of the varsity team last year. Even the year before, it was a smallish, as far as football team, senior class. And so these kids have put in, the work in the 4 years, and you mentioned it, just with how they've been able to do that. You look at Cray Coffee, some of the numbers that these guys have put up
Yeah,
statistically,
absolutely.
and just overall what they've done, what they've meant, you mentioned it, to the program, not just their 4 years in high school, but going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Craig Coffey, Ruger Johnson, a lot of those guys had to step up early, and they took their licks. And I told them that was going to happen. Like, guys, you are good football players, but you're freshmen right now, even as sophomores. But they stuck with it. And the thing about this group was that they stuck with each other, and that's the biggest thing. I think in sports. You get a group of guys like that, and it doesn't matter what sport it is. It could be football, basketball, baseball, track, whatever it is, wrestling. When you get a group of guys that really buy into getting better as a team and not just individually, good things are going to happen. And I really thought that's what these guys did. It wasn't just Craig Coffey lifting by himself. It wasn't just Ruger Johnson going out and doing his own thing. Like, a lot of these guys lifted together. They held each other accountable. They'd always be texting each other if one guy was, sleeping in, or the alarm didn't go off or something. They were all holding each other accountable, and that's what made this group so special. And it was awesome. It wasn't just one guy. They knew that they needed each other to succeed, and so they held each other to that standard, and did a really good job doing it. So, if anything, I hope those younger guys take that away from these older guys, is that it can't be just one guy. It has to be a unit, and I thought those guys really represented that really well and did a good job doing that. And like I said, a lot of these guys had a lot of success. You mentioned Craig Coffey, 4,000-yard, career rushing yards is it's got to be a record. Like I said, I'm finishing those all up here. Hopefully, by the time the banquet comes around, I'll have those done and really see kind of where we fit. But I think we probably set a couple records this year, and these guys are very deserving of them. So like I said, just very proud of these guys and everything they did this year. Not just, for me, but for each other, for the younger guys, for the community. Just really, really good group.
Well, and it's 9-2. Obviously, Friday night, everyone was disappointed. The coaching staff, the players, fans, parents. But 9-2 is such a great season. And I told you last night, we spoke for a moment before a junior high basketball game. Right, in the moment and in these first few weeks,
Right,
there's the disappointment. There's the I wish I could have done this, or we would have done something differently. What could we have done? But in the months and years to come, when those guys get back at a class reunion or something, they're going to talk about this senior year and what they
right,
did and look at that record. I'm 53 years old. I look back at certain athletic teams I was part of, and you talk about those, and just such an accomplishment over the course of their 4 years in high school, how they progressively got better. You know,
right,
your only two losses this year to two very good teams that are still alive in the playoffs,
right.
and
Yeah,
nothing to hang your heads about with a 9-2 season. But when it comes to football, coach, you get those kids for 4 years, and you had such a large senior class. They move on, and we talked about that group. But you're returning some guys, and there's some skill guys, some
absolutely.
guys that played that you can build on heading into next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we told those guys that after Friday night's game. Like, guys, we hope you saw kind of what these seniors did. And it wasn't always, like you mentioned, it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows for these guys, especially when they were young. They had to go through their bumps and bruises too, and they had to play scout team, and they had to do those sort of things. But yeah, we had a couple young guys really step up this year. Case Morgan did a really good job filling at that linebacker spot. Trevor Henry came in, did a great job for us at safety. Bryson Quinley ended up getting hurt, but was able to come back, and help us on special teams a little bit the last couple games there. Kale Taggart, I thought, really stepped up as a leader this year, and we're going to really need him to step up even more next year. So yeah, we got Tegan Alexander, who did an awesome job at center for us this year. You always get nervous adding a new center. Just it's a different feel for the quarterback, all the little detail things. But I thought Tegan did a great job all year long, and he's going to be a huge leader for us on that offensive line. And we got Carson Nibel coming back, and a couple of these younger guys that didn't get to see a ton of time this year, but are going to have to step up next year. And I think they see that opportunity, and I think they should be anyway. Feeling really good about next season, getting that opportunity to go play under the Friday night lights, and be a starter, and because there's going to be a lot of opportunity there. Like you said, we're graduating ton of seniors. A lot of them started both ways for us, so there's definitely going to be spots open, and I hope these younger guys are really just not not looking at it as being scared, but like it's a great opportunity for them to, step up, be a big part of South Harrison football. And now it's their chance, it's their time. So, yeah, excited for the future of these guys. Yeah, I think we got some good pieces coming back. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun year. Hopefully we can just keep building on to what these seniors are kind of leaving behind.
Well, and it's always the challenge of coaching high school, right? You don't get to sign a kid to a long-term contract. They're there for
Right.
4 years, and they're moving on, and you're dealing with all kinds of moving parts with kids moving in or out of the district, grade checks and things like that,
Right.
and you get the opportunity with new kids coming up that'll be freshmen next year out of the middle school program. And so,
Hmm.
Coach, we appreciate every week that you've been with us this season. Congratulations on a great year, 9-2, and a great finish. And South Harrison should be proud of you and the coaching staff and this football team this year because they definitely showed Bulldog pride throughout the season.
Thank you, CF. Yeah, thanks for having me on. This is really fun. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for everything you do, not just for football, but for all sports. I think people have really enjoyed this. I've enjoyed it. I know the kids enjoy it. So yeah, I've heard a ton of community members, talking about it. My grandpa who lives 4 hours away watches it all the time. So yeah, I really appreciate everything you do for not just football, but for South Harrison as a whole. So yeah, thanks for having me every single week, and thanks for doing this.
All right, thanks, Coach. We look forward to next season.
Yep, absolutely.